Hi everyone, it's Tasha. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome, thanks for joining me. You know that I usually take you thrift shopping with me and then I show you what I found and how I'm styling or DIYing it in our home. Today's video is a little bit different because I have been thrifting and I want to show you some pieces that I brought together along with a few new retail pieces to do a guest bedroom makeover that was much needed in our home. I'm going to be showing you the thrifted pieces that I got as well as the new items and showing you how I put it all together to create a warm and welcoming guest bedroom look on a budget. So diving right in, starting with the bed itself, I was fortunate enough a while back to find this lovely solid wood bed frame at a thrift shop for only $28, which was a killer deal. So I did just a tiny touch up to it at the time, but I really want to give this a further makeover. Another piece that I've found at the thrift shops are these beautiful nightstands. These are also solid wood, and if you can believe it, these were only $9.99 each. There was a little bit of damage on the top of one, but I knew that with this bright orange tone in the wood, I was going to want to redo these anyway, and so those didn't bother me at all. I decided to start out by sanding these completely down to see what the wood underneath was like, and it appears to me to be a light oak color, which is beautiful. I was really torn because I thought I could just finish these and leave them in their original state, but in my mind, I kind of knew that I wanted a dark wood tone for these in this room, so in the end, I decided to stain them. I'm going back to this Kona stain that I showed you in a previous video because I really love this color. It's just the perfect temperature, not too cool and not too warm, so I wanted to use that again. Here I'm just testing it out on a bottom part of the nightstand to make sure I like the way it goes in, and I did, so I finished those up in the Kona stain. Meanwhile, back inside, I'm taking apart that existing bed and taking it outside so that I can work on it a little bit more. It's a little bit tricky to do by yourself, but I got it done. So a quick pause to vacuum this room completely and get under there where the bed was, and then I head outside to deal with the bed frame. And the problem with this one for me is that the wood, while parts of it are beautiful, is very multi-toned. As you can see, it's kind of streaky with different parts being more red and parts more white. That just wasn't working for me, so I tried staining it in this dark color as well, but still that kind of multi-toned effect was happening and I just wasn't happy with it in the end, so I decided to just paint it. So I'm using this paint called Down to Earth. I love this color. I used it on this little kitchen tray on our kitchen countertops the other week and I showed you, and I really love this color. So this one came to mind and that's what I'm using on this, plus a matte top coat of Flat Out Flat by General Finishes just to kind of protect that further. Now back inside, I have this beautiful new wool rug sent to me by Lowe's. I love this rug because it's a natural wool rug and it has this beautiful fringe on the ends that I thought was really cozy and inviting. In most of the rooms in our home right now, I have these vintage style rugs with a pattern, but for this one, I decided to go for a solid to switch things up a little bit and really amp up that nice cozy feeling. I like a thick plush rug, and in this case, I put it right over top of our existing carpet. Now for the window treatments in this room, I'm going with 2 pages. Thank you to them for sending over these beautiful bamboo shades that I showed you in my video last week. And I'm also using those beautiful linen curtain panels from them as well. I love 2 pages and really appreciate them sending these so that I could share them with you. These are in the color Oatmeal and they are a linen blend panel that I will link for you in the description box. I love their little clicky hooks as well that you can adjust the final length of your curtain panels with and get them just perfect so that they just barely kiss the floor exactly like they're supposed to. Just thoroughly enjoy their products and highly recommend them. So you can see I'm just hanging up the curtain panels here. It's super easy after you put the drapery pins in to just slide them into the hooks. And I got these in a blackout lining, and I also got the shades in a blackout lining. So a really dark room is important to me for sleep, so I figure for some of our guests that might be the case as well, and I wanted them to be able to get this room super dark like a cave, and it really worked. So do check out 2 pages if you haven't yet, and I have a discount code that you can use if you decide to make an order on the bottom of the screen and in the description box. These are memory trained already so that they have the creases in the perfect places and hang right out of the box just like you see them here, with no steaming or anything like that. And with those special hooks, I can get them to kiss the floor perfectly. I think that once I have these window treatments fully up with a new curtain rod, which was a little more substantial than my last kind of flimsier one, this window looks 100 times better and really sets the tone for this room and makes it look a little bit more high-end right off the bat. Another thing that I've been meaning to do in this room is give these two closet doors on this other wall a little bit of a facelift. So these were just white and I really wanted to give them a little bit of a pop and kind of warm up the room and make it seem a little more cozy and a little more welcoming. So I'm painting these doors in a color called Shiitake by Sherwin-Williams. I really love this color, have used it in my daughter's room already and highly recommend it if you're looking for a pop for some of your trim or doors in your home. And once my bed frame is completely dry, I'm able to bring it back in, and the fun part can really begin with me actually starting to set up this room. So first things first, have to go through the ordeal of actually setting up the bed frame and bringing the mattress back into the room. Now I actually have another like platform bed frame that I like to put inside of this one to make the mattress sit up a little bit higher, since I already owned that and it's about 2 or 3 inches higher, and I forgot to put it in this shot, but I do go back and add that so that the actual bed itself sits up a little bit higher than shown right there. I already had this beautiful sheet set from Target that I actually thrifted, but from quite a while back, with this nice kind of cream sage colored pinstripe in it. I think you can never go wrong with pinstripes. And now I'm able to bring back in those nightstands. They're completed. I love the dark Kona color on these, and I did switch out the wooden original hardware for these little brass knobs that I bought from Amazon, and I think that also makes all the difference. These look like completely different nightstands now, and for $10 each, I could not be more happy with this find. I also love how the top has a little writing tray that you can pull out. So sweet. And the next thing that I'm going to work on is adding the lamps to those tabletops. So I ordered these lamps from Wayfair and I was really happy with how they turned out, and I wanted to share them with you. They are a beautiful round shape with this nice deep charcoal color, lots of texture built in, and a sweet little kind of accent line going around the bottom. I was really happy with these because they reminded me of the Abbott lamp from McGee & Co, but for a lot less money. So while these that I bought were only $70 each on Wayfair, McGee & Co's are several $100s. And so I'll link these Wayfair finds in the captions for you, but I'm just putting one of these on each table. I tried to thrift some lamps, you know that I did, you know this channel, but I couldn't find two that matched that I liked after a couple of months of searching, just the way it happens sometimes. So I went ahead and bought these from Wayfair. But if you're lucky enough to find thrifted lamps that you do like but you don't like the color, you can always redo them. You can check out my video called Tone Changing DIY Techniques for Thrifting for ideas for changing up lamps and lots of other materials as well. So for the bed, I'm going to be using this linen blend duvet cover that I bought from Amazon. This is by Bedsure. I'm super happy with this set. It had the pillowcases to match as well. And it's crinkled completely by my fault from where I had stored it after I unboxed it. So I'm just going in with my handheld steamer and getting out some of those crinkles that I caused. And I really love this one because of the little button accents along the edges, as well as the button accents along the edges of the pillowcases. I think that that's just a nice touch and a little bit different than you normally see, and so I really like this set and recommend it as well. Now for me, I know that I like to sleep with 2 pillows, and so I'm going to put 2 pillows on each side of this bed, which might be overkill. I could certainly just do one, especially in the guest room, but I really like these other pillowcases with this beautiful waffle weave. I've showed these on my channel before, and I have these on our bed as well, but I like the way that these go together and add just one more texture to the room and to the bed. Next, I'm going to be bringing in 2 large accent pillows. Now, I thrifted these pillow covers a couple of years ago, and they're some of my favorites. I love the texture from them. I could not ever find them online or any brand on them to tell you who made them, but I really love them. They're super high quality feeling and add a lot of texture and interest without a lot of color. So I also like this accent pillow, and I'm bringing this one in. I've owned this for a while. It's been in my closet, and I ordered this one from Amazon a while back. Didn't cost very much. I will link it in the description box as well. Now on the foot of the bed, I'm going to be bringing in a separate pattern just to add a little bit more pattern to the room without, again, using large pops of color, but I wanted to add a little more interest through this pattern. This is also from Amazon, and I'm bringing it into this room just to add a little bit more warmth and coziness. You could also pile on another blanket on top of this one, like a thicker kind of chunky or woven blanket, and I may do that in the fall and winter season, but I think for the spring and summer, this beautiful quilt is all that I want on the end. Now for the walls beside the bed, those aren't the largest spaces of walls left after the curtains are up, so I wanted something small, so I'm going with these thrifted frames that I found a while back. I've showed you these before, I believe, and the prints that I'm putting in them are just two that I found from Etsy and had printed out at my local CVS. So I think these are the perfect size just to add a little bit of charm on these walls without overpowering them or seeming like they're too big for the space. And as we all know, smaller art pieces on the wall are very trendy right now, so I think that all together these are the perfect pieces. Now again, I'm really seeking to add a lot of warmth and charm to this room, so another thing that I'm doing is using this little wall basket that I found at a thrift shop just last week. This cost me $3.50, which was an excellent deal, and so I knew that I wanted to use it in this room, and I decided that right over here in between these freshly painted closet doors would be a good spot just to add this little basket and some simple kind of understated florals in it for a really charming touch. I do think that the type of floral that you choose for a wall basket is important because they can read as kind of outdated if you're using florals that aren't really kind of the moment. But I chose these because these wispy kind of understated florals are a lot more trendy, and they seem to me to give off that perfect modern vintage vibe. I'm also going to add one piece of art on the wall that kind of leads into the room. This is kind of through the doorway, and there's this little area on the right side that's perfect for one piece of art just to kind of welcome you into the room. So this piece is from Hobby Lobby, which you might have all seen by now. I really love it, and that can go there just to kind of start the room off on a beautiful note. Now on the wall opposite me, I'm going to be using this beautiful antique mirror that I showed you in my last video, and I said I was going to be using it in an upcoming room makeover. So here it is. I'm going to be using it in the guest room. This is just such a beautiful piece. I found this for only $14.99, if you can believe it. It's so heavy. It may be mahogany. I'm not the best at telling different wood types, but if I had to guess, maybe it's a mahogany piece, but just so beautiful. And I thought this would be a nice understated piece on this wall. It's not too much, it's not too little, and since this is a smaller room, the mirror definitely doesn't hurt on the wall either, just to kind of make the room look that much bigger and more open and bounce some more light around. So I think it's the perfect piece for this wall. For the nightstands, in addition to the lamps, I also want to add a little bit of decor, although I don't want to clutter them up too much, so I'm going to try and go in with a light touch. On this right hand one, I'm just going to be adding this one smaller size decorative book called Minimalista, and I have read this from cover to cover. It's a great book, very inspiring. I need to read it again, but definitely inspiring book that I do love also. And this little beaded tray with the silver edging around the side that I think is super sweet. I found that at a thrift shop a while back and really love it. And then on the left side table, I'm just going in with this beautiful little kind of scalloped ruffled edge dish that some of you told me you thought might be a small pie plate. I'm not sure, but I love it either way. I'm just using it as a kind of little tray. I'm putting a thrifted candle in there as well that I found new at a thrift shop, and I cut off the striker pad from a little box of matches and just attached it to the underside of the lid and put a few matches in the tray with the candle as well, so they can use that as a coaster. They can use it to set the candle on, put their rings, whatever they want to do, but I think a little tray is a good idea on a nightstand. Now jumping back and forth a little bit because that's how I end up decorating, I'm going back to this back wall with the mirror and just adding this little thrifted wooden stool, as well as this thrifted canister or crock, if you will call it, and this little faux thyme plant that I bought from Amazon. This is made by Creative Co-op. And then I also decided to add this dark basket, which was thrifted, right beside the stool, and I ended up just leaving it empty just for a space where guests could drop anything that they felt like might be good to throw in the basket. Now, as for the lighting in this room, you may have noticed that ceiling fan in the opening shot is really outdated and it's also missing the light cover, which is embarrassing, but it really needs to be replaced. I wanted to keep a fan in this room though for the option of having that cool air at night. I love this fan from Pottery Barn. It's called the Spitfire. It's absolutely stunning in design, but the price at over $600 was just more than I was hoping for this room. Lowe's came in for the win and sent me this beautiful fan by Modern Forms at less than half the price of the Pottery Barn version. This one is so similar with the colors and the shape. I absolutely love it. My husband is talented enough that he could install this for us, which is great because I have no idea how to do that. And it is beautiful. I just need to get up there and touch up the paint around the top since it's smaller than the last one, and it will be beautiful. And for a final touch on the bed that's definitely extra, but it's really fun, I'm going to use one of my thrifted trays. This one was actually made by Anthropologie and cost a good penny from retail, but I found it for about $5, I think, at a thrift shop. And I'm going to be using that tray here along with this little vessel that I did a little DIY makeover a few videos back, as well as this book from Amazon. This is Call It Home. This is a beautiful book by Amber Lewis full of very inspiring photos of home interiors. And then using this one little lone hydrangea for this vase. And I think that a nice idea for a guest room like this is to add a little card game or some kind of little fun thing that your guests can check out or not. And I found this one from a thrift shop. This is from 1970, and I thought that it was so cool, and I love that it's in this little case that looks like a small book. So I could use something like this right here to finish this up, but I do realize that many of you will not be able to find something like that at a thrift shop just willy-nilly. So another idea is to take a small container. I also thrifted this little woven lidded container, and you can take any card game that might not have a very aesthetically pleasing box and just put the instructions as well as the cards right into a vessel like this that's going to look beautiful but also house something fun that your guests can check out in their evening time in your home. I think that that's a really nice idea. So in the end, with all my thrifted pieces and my new ones, this is how the room came together. My goal was to keep this room soft, welcoming, not overwhelming with color. You know that I love a neutral palette, and just to make it have that modern charm look. So I think that with the touches that I added, especially like the little wall basket and all the different textures on the bed, as well as warming up those closet doors, and especially adding the new textiles as far as the rug with the fringe and the new linen blend curtains and those shades, the room looks a lot more just decadent, inviting, and upscale. Almost nothing brings me more joy than just taking lots of thrifted treasures and bringing them together to make this beautiful vignette. And fortunately, I'm able to pair those with some new retail pieces to really make this room pop, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that the nightstands ended up being one of the stars of this room, and I can't believe they were only $9.99. They're so solid and sturdy, so I'm really thankful for being able to find those. I think that they really elevate the room, and I'm also happy with the way that the bed frame turned out. Even though it wasn't my first choice, I do love that paint color, and I think that it's just a nice tie-in with all of the different earth tones in this room. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button before you leave and leave me a comment letting me know what you enjoyed. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you would like to see more of my videos in your feed. And I hope everyone listening has a fantastic week, and I'll see you at the next video.